Welcome into the Coach's Corner here. The Wolverines on homecoming, getting ready to take on the Heritage War Eagles tonight, and Coach Bryan Pratt's with us. And let's start with the ending to last week's game against Harbor. Kind of walk us through it. Your team looked kind of calm in a hectic situation. It may not have felt that way for you in the middle of it, but they got the job done.
I told some people after the game, I just want to make sure that the fans got their money's worth when they come to the game, right down to the last second. It wasn't quite the way that we ended it, way we wanted it to end. We thought we were better, would play a little better, especially offensively, but it come down with our defense on the field, and you don't really understand how important those timeouts are that you burn early in the half, but it come back to haunt them a little bit. And the last play, we actually work it. We do what's called a Thursday script, and in that Thursday script, it has all the scenarios that you could run into, and one of them is the last second play, and you're down the goal line, and you got to try to bat the ball down, and that's what it was. It was do or die, last play of the game, and we were able to make the plays that we needed to, and it seems like that someone always steps up.
And because they had missed the extra point earlier, that's why they needed the touchdown there. They could have gotten a field goal and tied it and gone to overtime.
We talked about that on Saturday, how important 100% in the kicking game is. And, those PATs, sometimes those guys run out there and it's just a PAT, but you don't realize how important it is when it comes down to that situation. And if they don't miss the PAT, they kick the field goal and we go into overtime. And so it was a big deal for us to get 100% in the kicking game. We were that for the second game in a row, and if you remember last week, we wanted to talk about trying to improve that because we hadn't got that goal throughout the year. So as the year gets better, gets longer, you got to make some plays, and you got to be 100% in the kicking game in order to be successful.
Now, Maddox knocks the ball down there. There was another play earlier in the game where, again, it's a possible interception, big play, but he stayed, I guess, with his technique and just knocked the ball down, and the team took over.
Well, a lot of times we tell them if you're not for sure you're going to pick it, then you bat it down. And, a guy like him that's an all-conference safety and coming into his senior year, and he's played a lot, you feel like he's a veteran back there, and you got to go with the choices that he makes.
Let's talk about the running of Nick Whitlatch. He had another big game last week. And with that, also, we can spend some time talking about how well the offensive line has played, blocking for him. Well,
I think that's the strength of our team. We've said that from the get-go. We've said that when the season ended last year, and those guys playing really, really well. And it's not just them. Our receivers made some great blocks on some of his runs as well. And Nick trusts those guys. And he's a guy that when the ball's in his hand, he runs really hard and, can break some tackles. But it doesn't have to break many when you pop it open in the middle of the field, wide open, and he's able to run up the gut. I think he's averaging 10 yards a carry plus. So he's had huge games. We hope that continues in the future.
Now, we're recording this on a Monday. It's no secret that we're not actually going to play the game in 10 minutes from now. But it's a week full of distractions with homecoming week, and you've got an opponent that's winless on the season coming in. I'd imagine it's a week where the focus on what your guys are doing, and they've done that all throughout the season, really.
It's tough. I know this is going to shock a lot of people, but homecoming is not my favorite week, and there are a lot of distractions. A lot of things that go on that are fun for the student body and fun for the school, but not a focus of ours. A focus of ours is win the game and be 5-0 in conference play, which is a goal of ours. And so we have to come out and take care of ourselves. And as far as Heritage, they're struggling a little bit, but they play hard. And I can remember 4 years ago going over there with a team that was supposed to beat them and getting beat. And so I'm not for sure, but that may be one of their last few wins that they've had was against us 4 years ago. So I'll never overlook a Heritage team. We're going to take care of ourselves and go out and try to get better, because if we want to be playing late in November, early December, we're going to have to continue to improve each week.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's Bryan Pratt, the head coach of the Wolverines. More of our pregame show from Wolverine Stadium coming up after this.